Do you remember the last time you laughed? What makes you laugh? How did you feel when you laughed?
Laughter is a universal phenomenon that's inherent in every person, regardless of age, culture, and nationality. Laughter has an incredible ability to bring people together, brighten even the darkest of days. We are all familiar with the feeling of joy we experience when we laugh. But have you ever wondered what effects laughter has on the human body?
Research shows that laughter has many benefits for our physical and emotional health. A study by Ripple and his team revealed that laughter has numerous positive physiological effects, including relaxing muscles, stimulating circulation, suppressing stress hormones, and even bolstering the immune system's defenses. Psychologically, laughter triggers the release of endorphins, which counteracts a depressive mood. It also reduces stress and anxiety and increases self-esteem. Finally, its contagious nature helps improve interpersonal relations and promotes closeness. Laughter is a powerful resource that has a huge impact on a person. But how often does a person laugh? And what makes them laugh? One study has revealed that children laugh about 400 times a day, while adults laugh, on average, a measly 15 times. This laughter emerges most frequently in spontaneous situations and interactions. Other less frequent sources of laughter also include exposure to mass media, jokes, and the recalling of previous events. As you may see, plenty of research has been conducted in this area before. However, none of them are specific to Hong Kong young adults. Therefore, our team of scientists will conduct a survey that will measure how many times a person spends laughing, and an experiment that will reveal the benefits of laughter.
For this experiment, our team selected different funny videos to generate laughter and prepared the following questionnaire to gather information about how often people laugh and what they believe the extent of psychological and physiological effects of laughter to be. The most important thing is that we have found 11 volunteers of different nationalities who are ready to take part in the experiment. To measure their mood, we decided to use the standard Panos Mood questionnaire, which uses words that describe emotions and feelings, and present participants with a scale of 1 to 5 to rate the extent to which they feel such way. Adding up the ratings for positive and negative feelings yields us the positive affect score and negative affect score, which will be handy in forming our hypothesis. First, we brought the participants into a room, completely removing distractions. The next thing they were asked to do was to take the Panos Mood questionnaire to describe their mood at the present moment, and fill out the questionnaire prepared by our team. Next, participants watched the selected video. After watching the video, participants completed the Panos Mood questionnaire again to analyze the changes.
Taking into account our background information, we expect that we will observe a higher positive affect score and lower negative affect score after our participant watched the video.
Or, in simple terms, we expect that after watching our video, our volunteers will feel better.
For the last few days, we conducted the experiment and had our volunteers fill out our survey. Now we can start analyzing our results. Starting with our survey, we had first asked them to estimate how many times they laugh in a day. Taking the average of all values, we see that our sample laughs around 22 times a day, higher than the 15 times a day for an adult figure we saw in literature. The results also seem to be varied, with one particularly gloomy participant claiming they only laugh 2 times a day, while the highest number we saw was 108. If we deem these two outliers and remove them from the average, we get 14.6, which closely matches the literature value. As for what our participants think the effects of laughter are, the most common responses suggested that laughter brings happiness and joy, lightens or enhances one's mood, and relieves stress. Finally, when asked to rate the extent of laughter's short and long-term benefits, participants showed belief in laughter's capability to make people feel better in a multitude of ways. But although our participants think they feel better after laughing, did they actually feel better? To answer this question, we must turn to our experiment result. We had hypothesized that we would see an increase in the positive affect score and a decrease in the negative affect score after our participants laughed. Taking a look at our results, we see that the mean positive affect score increased by about 4.5 points, and the mean negative affect score decreased by about 7.5 points, which confirms our hypothesis. Taking a closer look at our PANAS results, we see that people predominantly felt more excited, followed by active and enthusiastic. As for negative descriptors, distress, the mood that showed the most decrease, was followed by ashamed, irritable, and upset. But don't just take our words for it. Here are some excerpts from our volunteers.
How are you feeling after watching the video?
I feel energetic because I woke up like 30 minutes ago, but now starting the day with like a good laugh, at least it set that good tone for the rest of the day. Yeah.
I feel that my head lightened up. I feel like it matters a bit less now.
I think I feel more better after watching the video because it was very funny and it made me more energetic and active than previous.
In summary, our experiment confirms that after laughing, people feel less stressed, ashamed, and upset, while feeling more excited and enthusiastic. Aside from confirming our hypothesis, this also helps us understand why laughter is often cited as a tool for stress relief and a way of advancing relationships. Of course, our data isn't perfect as we relied on the PANAS questionnaire as a predictor for mood, which itself includes some descriptors that are often not considered as moods, such as active and alert, which can be confusing. Also, we relied on the participants' self-reporting to assess their mood, and the consistency of this method can vary significantly between person to person.
Finally, using mood questionnaire limited us to measure the psychological effects of laughter. Perhaps further research in this area can devise an effective method that will verify its effect on the body.
We have seen how just a few minutes of laughter can bring us joy, elevates our stress, and bring us together as humans in a shared experience. And with all that said, is it really enough that we laugh 15 times a day? Perhaps like how Louis and his team proposed, we can do with a laughter prescription. The world can be much more joyous and exciting if we only learn to laugh like children again.